here to talk about my proposed production company, RNG Media, with the tagline Inspiration Without Agenda. I hope you all really enjoy this. Let's take a look at our founders. This young lady here is one of our founders. Her name is Riley Gaines. She is a 12-time All-American swimmer, University of Kentucky graduate, and she became really well known when she tied with transgender swimmer Leah Thompson at the 2022 NCAA championship to the 100th of a second. Now, at that swim meet, Riley was told that she was not going to receive the trophy, that they were going to give the award to Leah Thompson, and since then, she's been a champion for the preservation of exclusive athletic spaces for biological females, and of course, she's a devout Christian. This production company makes a lot of sense for her, especially because of the content that we're looking to create. Her partner is this woman here, who many of you will recognize. Her name is Candace Cameron Bure. She is a child actor. She was the star of ABC's Full House and its Netflix reboot, Fuller House, which was wildly popular during the COVID pandemic in 2020. She's also the co-founder of another entertainment company, production company called Candy Rock Entertainment. And with Candy Rock, she signed an exclusive contract with Great American Family Network to develop content with the traditional family in mind. Now, Candace is also a devout Christian, and she exited the Hallmark Network when they saw a change in some of the programming there. She was actually one of the biggest stars that Hallmark Network had at the time, and she was really pulling a lot of other actors like Laurie McLaughlin and Lacey Chabert from Party of Five. So there were a lot of actors that were looking for another space to tell some really great, wholesome stories, and they had gone to the Hallmark Network. They've since exited that network when there was a little bit of the change of programming, and they are now with, some of them are now with Great American Family and making movies through Candy Rock Entertainment. Riley's mission with this company is to speak louder. Speak louder is a statement that she uses a lot. She wants to stand in support of traditional American values. Through the RNG Media Company, Riley hopes to bring exceptional quality content to audiences all over the world. And this is a quote that is something that I think she would say. She didn't actually say this, but it's something I could hear her say based on what I've learned about her. Keeping traditional Christian values at our core, we will inspire young and old to proudly represent freedom of speech and beliefs that are the foundation pillars of America. That's a statement by Riley Gaines when she talks about this production company. RNG Media hopes to work in tandem with Candy Rock Entertainment to produce content geared towards children and young people. So Candy Rock Entertainment has done a really great job of making that sort of Christmas rom-com sort of programming. This is going to be a space to create programming that is geared more towards Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and that sort of demographic, looking to elevate a younger demographic that is really looking for this content as well. When we talk about the content focus and some of the profitability of this sort of Christian narrative in media, in film and television, we're going to look at some of the examples that are set by the films that I've chosen to highlight here. Jesus Revolution recently had a budget of $15 million and a box office success upwards of $53 million. That's really great for, obviously, a movie at this budget. And I think one of the things that resonated with audiences about this film is that there is a representation of that younger audience. It did really well at the box office this year, and we're looking to sort of replicate that with some of the content because we know that there's a thirst for that among this audience. Also, recently, the Sound of Freedom film, that's another one that is in theaters right now and has grossed over $150 million with a budget of $14.5 million, starring Jim Caviezel, also a great success. And in the world of television, there's a TV show, a series called The Chosen, which is actually interesting because it was funded, the funding for it came from crowdsourcing. They raised $10 million through partnerships with Angel Studios and just really asking for donations for season 1. And then they were able to raise $30 million for seasons 2 and 3. And recently, they've struck a really great lucrative deal with Netflix and the CW network. The series has been translated into many languages, and it's circulating around the world right now with a lot of success. An honorable mention of a film that is not featured here is actually the movie I Can Only Imagine. That was the story of the lead singer of the Christian band MercyMe. It grossed $83 million in the box office, and it actually led to the creation of Kingdom Story, which is the production company behind Jesus Revolution. They also made another film that was a sports movie. It's called American Underdog. It was released in 2021, and it was the story of NFL quarterback Kurt Warner, starring Zachary Levi and Anna Paquin. That film did not do as well at the box office, and it's unclear whether or not it didn't do as well because the movies just weren't quite back yet. It was still 2021, sort of post-COVID pandemic, but there is a sense that perhaps these stories should be told by athletes, produced by athletes. And so that's kind of the space where Riley has some experience that the Kingdom Story company doesn't and hasn't really been able to hit that niche. So that's kind of where Riley is going. So let's talk about content. So the content, her first feature film is obviously going to be the Riley Gaines story. That's a documentary style movie that's going to air on Great American Family Network in 2024. It's about the life and college career of one Riley Gaines, which I think will really resonate on this platform and with this audience. And additionally, the company is also slated to develop a 6-episode series featuring child athletes from all over the country in their sport. The series will be titled Underdog, and the first installment is going to feature the 2023 Rhode Island Little League team. That's slated to air on Netflix in the spring of 2024. Riley's looking to not only tell female athlete stories, but really to resonate with the younger audience, which elevates athletes and their stories of perseverance, grit, determination. You want to keep the focus on athletes and their sport. Basically, inspiration without agenda is the approach that the company is looking to take. So we don't want to isolate other people, even though she is a little bit of a controversial person right now. We're hoping that some of the stories that we're going to tell are going to supersede some of that as the media attention, kind of dies down on that, and we're seeing great success in that. So as long as we can tell good stories, we really have a good sense that this is going to be a great start for Riley. Funding is going to come from some really familiar sources. Chick-fil-A owner Dan Cathy has a net worth of $14.2 billion. He has signed on for $10 million of funding for this production company. This is something that really is in the pocket of what the Chick-fil-A company values are. They look to have some partnerships with the child athletes in all sports, and their children's menu items will feature some of these athletes on their meals, and it's a really great opportunity to sort of bring families together and elevate these child athletes to a greater platform. And that can hopefully translate into some great sports scholarships and some national media attention, which these kids in many cases really need. So it's really about looking for that really extraordinary story, really something that's really going to inspire and build and kind of bringing that to the forefront. And Dan Cathy is committed to helping with that. And also David Green, the co-founder of Hobby Lobby, also a well-known Christian institution or organization. He's pledged to invest $10 million in the company, citing belief in the core values that Riley stands for and feeling called to bring a message of hope and support for Christian audiences, families, and generations to come. So I think this is all really in the pocket of the brand and the idea and the ideology behind RNG Media, and we think it can be a huge success. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation. This, as always, is my list of references. This class was super fun. I look forward to watching the rest of the presentations. Hope you all have a great rest of the month. Bye.